Welcome to the Tech Today show, everyone. And I know we are getting you a tech show at a time when the whole geopolitical situation of the world has just gone for a toss. However, there is a side to this conflict that many are missing, and we wanted to highlight that. What is the role of AI here? Does AI really have a role in warfare? We'll try to understand that with context to the recent feud between Anthropic and the US government. Plus, a new age AI phone by Samsung, the S26 Ultra, is here with us, and we'll get you a full review. Should you buy it? Should you not? Plus, a whole lot more tech on this week's Tech Today. I'm Cyrus, your host, and let's kick things off with the top tech headlines of the week.
Meta has officially acquired Moltbook, a social media platform where humans are restricted to observation only. The site is populated entirely by AI agents. Meta plans to use the tech to advance its autonomous superintelligence projects. It marks a major shift towards a human-free social media experience. The acquisition provides Meta with a controlled environment to observe AI's social dynamics without human interference. Google is stepping in to power the Pentagon's new AI portal following a fallout with rival firm Anthropic. Over 3 million civilian and military personnel can now build custom Gemini agents for unclassified tasks. The move signals a deepening tie between big tech and national defense. The integration aims to streamline administrative workflows across the Department of Defense using localized generative models. iQOO has launched the Z11X 5G in India, featuring a massive 7200 mAh battery. Starting at 18,999 rupees, the device targets the budget segment with military-grade durability and a Dimensity 7400 chip. The release sets a new benchmark for battery density in the competitive sub-20,000 rupees smartphone market. OpenAI is launching interactive visual modules within ChatGPT to help students master math and science. Students can now manipulate variables in real time to see how formulas change. The update covers over 70 core concepts. These tools mark a shift for ChatGPT from a text-based assistant to a multimodal educational platform. WhatsApp is introducing new parent-managed accounts for children under 13. Guardians can now vet contact lists and approve messages via a secure PIN. To ensure safety, features like status and Meta AI are disabled for these young users. The update addresses growing regulatory pressure to provide safer, moderated communication channels for minors.
There is a full-blown war going on in the Middle East, and somewhere behind it all is AI. AI is calling all of the shots, not just any AI, AI that people like you use. And I'm talking about Anthropic's Claude, which has been declared a supply chain risk by the US government. The same AI which the US has been using to find targets around the world till now. What did Anthropic do to upset the government so much that it got itself blacklisted? And what is the future of warfare with AI is our big conversation for the day.
On the 3rd of January, the US pulled off something wild called Operation Absolute Resolve. They actually captured Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro, and get this, no soldiers got hurt. The secret weapon? The AI called Claude. Specifically, a custom military-grade iteration of Anthropic's LLM integrated via Palantir Maven smart systems. This changes how wars are fought. The AI did something no human could. It instantly calculated the risks to civilians and created a step-by-step plan that completely shut down the enemy leadership. Anthropic reportedly didn't know Claude was being used for a live combat raid until after it happened. The company's internal monitoring flagged that their model was being used to generate war strategies and real-time strike coordinates in Caracas, a direct violation of their no violence, no weapons policy. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei reached out to the Pentagon to demand transparency, which led to a series of heated exchanges between the two and led to the situation which is now. The Pentagon's immediate action was a swift and aggressive shift from a secret partner to public antagonist. They disagreed with the idea that a private company could audit military operations. By mid-January, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth moved to crush the resistance. He issued a new rule. Every AI contract must now include an any lawful use clause that included removal of mass domestic surveillance restrictions, allow use of AI model in developing fully autonomous weapon systems. The choice offered to Anthropic was binary. Strip your guardrails and allow the military to use Claude for anything legal under the laws of war or be purged from the defense ecosystem. While Anthropic hesitated, OpenAI and xAI competed to fill the vacuum. On 27 February, just as the ultimatum to Anthropic expired, the Pentagon announced a patriotic partnership with OpenAI. Sam Altman's team agreed to the any lawful use terms that Anthropic rejected, effectively trading Claude's caution for GPT's compliance.
The OpenAI US defense deal brought in a lot of criticism. Top employees resigned, the hashtag #CancelChatGPT started trending online, uninstallations surged, signaling that the betrayed public sentiments were clearly highlighted over there. Now, OpenAI claims that they've kept safety principles, but critics note that the contract uses the government's definition of safety, which prioritizes success over morality. So, what happens to Anthropic then?
On the 27th of February, President Donald Trump labeled Anthropic a radical left woke company and ordered a total federal ban. On March 5th, the Pentagon went further, designating Anthropic a supply chain risk to national security. It's a label usually reserved for foreign entities such as Chinese tech giant Huawei, now used against a US company to prevent any military contractor from even using a laptop with Claude installed. Then on March 9th, Anthropic fired back, and a bunch of AI experts from other big tech companies, including Google DeepMind researchers Zhengdong Wang and Alexander Matt Turner, and OpenAI's Gabriel Wu, Pamela Mishkin, and Roman Novak also joined the cause. Anthropic filed a 48-page federal lawsuit alleging the viewpoint-based retaliation. They are suing for the right to say no to the state. As OpenAI engineers move into the Pentagon's classified networks today, the industry is watching. The AI civil war has left the labs and entered the courtroom. And the outcome will decide if the future of intelligence belongs to the creators or the commanders.
In any case, the damage done to the company is irreversible. And let's get it clear, integrating AI into the defense system is not the problem over here. It's the power to take that final decision which is in question over here. Now, Anthropic says it can't hand the decision-making power to AI, but is it not happening already? We have reports suggesting that the US is already using AI for its operations in Iran, and that's not all.
Victory Day Parade in Beijing was the world's first look at what the PLA calls intelligentized warfare. More than just a display of hardware, it was a signal that China has already crossed the red lines Anthropic is currently fighting to maintain. The Pentagon's logic is clear. If China is comfortable putting AI in its defenses, the US cannot afford to be the only power with its hands tied. This is why Anthropic's ultimatum was so aggressive. They view safety guardrails as a death sentence in a war against a rival that has none. We've already seen it in games like Call of Duty and Metal Gear Solid. The world is now divided by the any lawful use rule. Major powers like Russia and Israel use agentic defense already, AI that acts autonomously apart from suggesting plans. Middle powers like India and the EU are stuck between arguing for responsible AI and spending heavily on their own sovereign AI systems, trying not to rely on US tech giants for their security. The Anthropic lawsuit in DC is a fight for the soul of the technology, but on the global stage, the verdict is already in. In the wars of tomorrow, the fastest algorithm will rewrite the laws of existence.
Well, the battle for the AI brain has officially moved from the server room to the courtroom now, with Anthropic's federal lawsuit now setting for the stage for constitutional showdown. The global tech industry faces a defining choice: comply with the state's mandate for any lawful use or risk being left out of the future of the national defense infrastructure. But the fallout from this legal fight is only one part of this entire story. The current ground reality of AI integration in defense can already be seen around the world, especially in the Israel-US military campaigns in Iran. And the most important question is, which still remains over here: if algorithms break the law, who do we hold responsible for all of this? Think about it. Coming up, we are moving from all of the AI integration in defense to AI in your smartphones in our next segment, which is a comprehensive review of the new Samsung AI phone, the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Take a look at that. This is the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, and it looks almost the same as last year. But Samsung says that this is the best phone it can offer in 2026. But unlike last year, the performance of the camera isn't really the headline maker this time. It's a new feature called Privacy Display, and it will just change the way you view content on this phone. Because this one literally hides all of what you are watching on the phone from other people snooping around you. But at a price tag of almost 1,40,000 rupees, is it really worth buying this phone in India? Everything revealed in this review on the Tech Today show. Let's start with the design. And honestly, if you've seen the last couple of Ultra phones, this one will feel very similar. The boxy frame, the flat display, the separate floating camera lenses, and of course the built-in S Pen, which still does not have Bluetooth. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. Samsung has clearly locked into this Ultra design language, and it does look premium. But the reality is very little has changed around the design of this phone. Yes, Samsung has made this one a little lighter. But how? Well, it's thanks to a shift to a lighter aluminium structure instead of titanium, while still keeping durability features like Gorilla Armor glass there. So when you hold it, it feels a little more comfortable, but still a heavy phone at almost 214 grams. So if you're hoping for a dramatic design change, you will not find it on the S26 Ultra, but it still looks premium. Now the display is where things really get exciting. The S26 Ultra features a 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED 2x display with QHD plus resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. And in typical Samsung style, the colors are vibrant, the panel is sharp, and the screen looks fantastic even outdoors. But the real story here is the privacy display. Samsung has literally built a privacy feature into the screen using narrow pixel technology, which kind of changes the way you watch content, or maybe others are able to watch content on your phone. Because it's almost like adding a physical screen protector on your phone, for which you don't have to spend extra now. Here, Samsung has integrated this technology directly into the display hardware. Here's how it works. Inside the panel are directional pixels, a mix of narrow and wide pixels that control how light spread across viewing angles. When privacy mode is activated, the screen remains perfectly clear when you look at it straight on. But from side angles, roughly around 30 degrees, the screen becomes dim or unreadable. So if you're in any public space, people sitting next to you simply can't see what's on your screen. And the best part is, you can customize it. You can enable privacy mode in various apps, including banking apps, WhatsApp, notifications, even when you are entering your password. So your phone can automatically hide sensitive information. And right now, there is no other smartphone, especially in the flagship category, that is offering you this feature. However, there is a trade-off. You see, when the privacy feature is enabled, the display can get noticeably dimmer because the screen is limiting how light spreads outwards. So outdoors, visibility may take a hit. Rest, the display is absolutely perfect when it comes to content viewing, gaming, or anything that you want to do on the screen. It's just that when you have this privacy feature on, watching content can be a little, let's just say, not that immersive. Moving on to the performance, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chipset, which is custom tuned for this smartphone. Because this chip focuses heavily on its NPU performance for AI processing with improved graphics performance and better thermal efficiency. Samsung has also increased the size of the vapor chamber inside the phone, which helps keep things cooler even if you're running heavy tasks like gaming or even 8K video recording. In everyday use, the phone is exactly what you would expect from a flagship. Apps open instantly, multitasking is smooth, gaming performance is excellent. And with 12 GB of RAM, the phone has plenty of headroom for power users. These are some of the benchmark scores we've gotten on this flagship, and as you can see, whatever is on paper translates to real-world gusto. But the difference here is Samsung is really leaning into the AI features of this smartphone, especially things like call screening and also the new editing feature where you can prompt stuff into the smartphone and change the world radically. For example, I have changed my shirt in this picture and I can change it so easily just by adding a prompt, and the result is so accurate. It's really impressive and doesn't seem like AI generated at all. Eventually, these AI features will also trickle down to the last year device, and then you might think there should have been something exclusive on the S26 Ultra. Now to a space where ultra smartphones really shine, and that's the camera department. Although Samsung hasn't really changed the hardware on the back and the front that much, but there are certain tweaks that just enhance your photography. There's the 200 megapixel main camera, the 50 megapixel ultra wide, the 10 megapixel 3x telephoto, and a 50 megapixel periscope with 5x optical zoom. So on paper, the hardware actually looks very similar to the previous generation. Where things have improved is the software side and also a little optics. The main camera now has a wider f1.4 aperture, allowing significantly more light into the sensor. That means better low light photos and improved night photography. Even daylight pictures and some of the portraits look absolutely fantastic. The colors pop out and the dynamic range is on point with focus on deeper blacks. What I feel needs improvement is the front 12 megapixel selfie camera, which isn't still as wide, nor does have an accurate edge detection as compared to some of the other flagships like the Vivo X300 Pro or the iPhone 17. Zoom is still one of the best on Samsung's flagships, especially the 5x optical lens and the AI-assisted space zoom. The video gets improvement too, including better stabilization and enhanced night mode. Another great feature for video is this super steady horizontal mode, which locks the axis no matter how much you move the phone, making the shot ultra stable. A great feature for shooting action sequences. So the camera system is again one of the most versatile that you can find right now out there in the flagship space. However, it is a little disappointing that we haven't seen a lot of upgrades, especially on the front camera, and Samsung could have done that this year. Battery is another department where Samsung has chosen consistency over experimentation, because this one uses the same 5000 mAh battery that Samsung has been using for generations, and it can be a little bothering that there is no new tech like silicon carbon, but the capacity is also the same, except for that optimization is a little better this time. Charging speeds have improved slightly up to 60 watt wired charging, which gets the phone from 0 to 100 in just over an hour. Still not the fastest in the market, but for Samsung, this is fast. But here's where things get a little disappointing. You see, many competitors are moving to silicon carbon batteries, which allow larger capacity without increasing the phone's size. Samsung is still using the traditional lithium-ion battery technology. While I do get a day's battery easily, it's still not good enough, especially when the competition in the lesser price segment is offering much better battery technology. So Samsung really needs to up its game in the battery department, especially for flagship phones. So the big question finally is, should you buy the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra? At almost $140,000 in India, this is clearly one of the most expensive smartphones that you can buy. And what Samsung has done this year is interesting. Instead of chasing bigger specs everywhere, they're focused on one standout innovation, which is the privacy display. If you work in public spaces, travel frequently, and handle sensitive information on your phone, this feature is genuinely useful. But outside of that, the Samsung S26 Ultra kind of feels like just a refined upgrade. The design is mostly unchanged, the battery technology hasn't moved forward, and the cameras are improved but not dramatically different. So if you already own the S25 Ultra, I don't think there's any sense in making an upgrade to the S26 Ultra. However, if you're looking to get into the Samsung Galaxy Ultra family, then this phone actually makes sense because it's packed to the brim with all of the features that you would want on a flagship phone. And overall, it's a good proposition. For over a couple of years now, AI has been helping us understand all of the complications, the complicated things, but lately there's a new buzzword in the world of tech: Agentic AI. Now, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or sentiments over here by referring to them as bots, but people are saying that chatbots are all old news and agents are the future. And we have in our studio our favorite AI anchor, Sana. So let's ask her in simple terms, what really is the difference between Gen AI and the new version of these AI agents? So Sana, do you have an answer for us?
Thank you for having me here. For your question, think of it this way. Generative AI is like an assistant to whom you need to tell what to do at every step, and it will get to it. But an AI agent is like a personal assistant who knows your schedule, anticipates, books the meetings, handles the follow-up emails, and updates your calendar without you lifting a finger. Gen AI provides the words. Agents provide the action.
So it's just about doing instead of generating. So let's now move away from all of the AI for a bit, and then let's move to smartphones, because I just recently reviewed the S26 Ultra in the previous segment. However, a lot of people want to know which is a better option between the S26 Ultra and the iPhone flagship, which is the 17 Pro Max. So now, which one should one go for?
It's the classic rivalry, Cyrus. The S26 Ultra is for the person who wants everything it has, that incredible new privacy screen, so people can't snoop on your phone, plus the S Pen for work. But the iPhone 17 Pro Max has finally caught up with a massive zoom and still feels like the smoother choice for high-end video and social media.
Thank you so much for the information, Sana. That was really useful, and I'm sure it will help the audience. So there you have it. We are seeing wars over AI being integrated into war machines and also your smartphones. And now we know the difference between Gen AI and Agentic AI. You can obviously write your thoughts to us about what the current scenario means for you. And if you want to see anything about tech and AI, please do write to us and we'll get you everything on the Tech Today show. This is Cyrus signing off. I'll see you next week. Take care.